Well, good morning, everybody. How are you today on this fine and dandy Saturday morning, bright and early? I went to bed with my water turned off last night. Yep, that's right, no water at all. It's gone from restrictions to watering once a week with a bucket to now part of the time we don't have any water at all. So I don't know what's going on with this water company. I mean, it's been long enough they could have made the parts they needed to fix the other filter system. So, and I don't know why we're still putting up with this other water company's water that has all these chemicals in it. You water your plants and it kills the plants. So what good is that water? You don't want to even drink it. You buy bottled water to drink in your house because you don't want this chemical filled water they're pumping into our homes right now. Can't water your yard, you can't water your garden, your grass, nothing. I mean, it's just outrageous. It's terrible. It's almost like it's a conspiracy to get water pumped into our homes that's so full of chemicals you can't do anything with it but maybe cook with it or bathe in it. And this is ridiculous. We had such a good water company for so many years. The water was like drinking fresh spring water. And now it's so full of chemicals you can't do anything with it. And I think it's basically killing whatever plants I've got left in my garden. If I run the tap water into buckets and water with it, the next day I get up, my plant has turned brown. So you go figure that. I mean, I'm at my wit's end. I've tried my best to keep my plants alive. Some of them are still alive, but they're not doing anything. They're just barely hanging in there. So I have no hope for my garden this year at all. Maybe when I replant in the spring of the year, I'll have a decent garden again. Hopefully they'll be over all this drought and this water restriction mess that we've got going on for the last 2 years. It's almost like they're trying to run people out of their homes out here that's with this water company. They say, well, we can't get your property any other way. We'll just, get rid of your water. I mean, go figure that. I mean, I hated to put a damper on everybody's Saturday morning, but that's kind of the way my Saturday morning is today. At least I did have water when I got up this morning. The only thing is, when I turn my spigot on, you know how it does when the water pressure builds up in the line and you got air pockets and it just spurts water out everywhere? Well, it just sprayed water everywhere this morning, and I got so aggravated with that, though. I was ready to call the water company and tell them what I thought of them. So much water pressure built up in the lines with all the water till you have to run it for a half hour or so to get the water, the air out of the lines to be able to use the water. I don't know, maybe they had a leak somewhere and they had to repair a line. And maybe that's why we have so much air in the line. I don't know. But y'all, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with my garden. I'm disgusted with my yard. I'm losing my rose bushes that I worked so hard on. Everything in my yard is dying because of this water situation. I mean, at least if we'd have got rain once in a while, it would have helped. But we not only can't water anything, and if we do, it's so full of chemicals that it'll kill the plants. On top of that, we've had no rainfall at all for over 2 months. No rain. So, I don't know. Y'all pray for me. Pray for this whole area that we'll get rain pretty soon. Desperately needed rain. And pray that the water company gets the parts they need to repair and put in the new system that they need to supply everybody with enough water. So this stuff will end. I mean, it's getting to the point where it's just unbearable. It really is. I mean, all these homes that have built, new homes, they put in this expensive block grass. And you know, usually when that stuff dies, it don't come back. There's no water to keep those roots alive, when it dies, it don't come back. It's not like Bermuda grass. That stuff comes back regardless. Whether you want it or not, you got grass when you have Bermuda grass in your yard. Y'all have a cup of coffee this morning. I mean, even the plants that I've just planted, the winter squash that I planted that came up and was looking so pretty, I watered it the other night with tap water out of the buckets. Went out there and looked at it the next day and the leaves were turning brown. So you know good and well it's the chemicals in the water that's doing that. So unless I can store water for 2 or 3 days and then water with it, and hopefully by then the chemicals are evaporated out, I have no hope of keeping anything alive in my yard. And it's too hot to even get out there to try to water it with buckets. I mean, it's unreal. It's unbearable. And I always had such a pretty garden, you know. My son will tell you, I had so many squash, zucchini, and cucumbers, I was giving them away left and right one year. He came over when my granddaughter was little, and she was getting armfuls of zucchini and squash and cucumbers out of the garden and keep bringing them up to him on the porch. He said, "Where are you getting all that?" She said, "Out of Grandma's garden." Well, I haven't gotten any like that since that summer. I mean, I've gotten some, but not like that. It just seems like every year it gets worse and worse out here. So I don't know what I'm going to be able to do with the garden this coming spring. I mean, I've already tried to plant fall stuff, and this chemical water is killing the plants as fast as it comes up. So I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm glad so many of you that have done what I do as far as planting your garden, composting in place, live in areas where you don't have this water problem and where you're getting a little bit more rain than what we're getting. And you can plant in the ground, and the ground stays moist enough to keep your plants growing. But here right now, it's not that situation. And I've just got thoroughly disgusted with all of it. I don't have anything harvested because there's nothing out there. I've got struggling tomato plants, struggling even Swiss chard. I mean, it's growing, but it's struggling. Other than that, I have 1 or 2 oakries along that's usually tough because of no water situation. Everything else is dying. Like I said, even the stuff I've planted recently that's come up and started looking really pretty, it's dying off again. So it doesn't look like I'm going to have a fall garden either. Just because of the chemicals in this freaking water. It should be against the law for them to pump that kind of water into your home that's got so many chemicals in it that you can't water plants in your yard without it killing them. I mean, if there's that much chemicals in your water, you don't need to be drinking it either. I guarantee you that. And I guess I'll get in trouble with the water company for this video, but you know, at this point, I don't really care. They need to listen to somebody. And they need to correct the water situation. It's been 2 years that they claim they have not been able to get parts. Well, they could have hired someone to make the freaking parts by now. Unless the whole idea all along was to merge with this other water company and give us this chemical filled water that they're giving us right now. And I've got a feeling that ain't going to go away. I think whenever they get situated and they lift the restrictions on us, we're still going to get this chemical water that's not fit to drink. I mean, when you take a bucket out in the yard and you stand over it and you try to fill that bucket with water, And the vapors from that water with the chemicals in it takes your breath, because the chemicals are so strong in that water. You don't need to be drinking that water. You don't need that water pumped into your house. And it never was like that before. That's one reason I loved living here, was you had good water. I had a fishing pier I could fish off of any day I wanted to. Or you had the point that you could go to and fish off the bank. And they've ruined all that. They tore down the fishing pier. They put up a boat dock. The people that live at the point now started leaving all their animals run wild. And they go down to the point and use it for a bathroom. To the point, you cannot even walk through there to the point to fish off the bank anymore. There's so much dog shit, you can't take a step through there. It's disgusting. Yeah, I guess you see exactly how I feel this morning. I got up irritated. I got even more irritated when I turned the water on. And that just started off a chain of events with everything else that they've screwed up out here. Leave it to growth, and what do they call it? Growth and evaluate. Oh heck, I can't think of the name. Growth and prosperity to mess everything up. All they think about is getting people in this area, selling land, building homes, making the money off the homes. They don't care about the people that have to live in those homes, that have this chemical water pumped into their house so bad you can't even water your plants with it. I mean, it's all about progress. People that want to make money. And it's, you know what? I think I need to get on another subject, because it's getting a little heated right now. I need to calm down. Drink my coffee and calm down. And I mean, I've got people in subdivisions all around me that can pump all the water they want all day long. No problem. The city does have a water restriction, but it's a real light one. It's almost like a voluntary water restriction. Ours is a mandatory stage 3 water restriction. Absolutely no outside watering except on your watering day, which is once a week. And then you've got to use a 5-gallon bucket or smaller to water plants. You can't even use your water hose. I've had no vegetables to harvest, no zucchini, no squash, no cucumbers, no tomatoes. I've gotten a little bit of Swiss chard every once in a while. And that's basically it. I'm almost disgusted on having a garden, y'all. I know I'll replant this coming spring and hope it'll be better. But right now, I don't know. I'm just not sure what's going to happen. But it's I can't explain to you how I feel. You plant something, you keep it watered with compost tea, and the minute you water it with tap water, the plant dies. And it's hard trying to keep your buckets and your containers full of water to let it sit for a couple of days before you can water. I mean, it's ridiculous. I know some people say, well, you live right at the lake, go down to the lake and get you some water and bring it back and water your plants. You have no idea what that would involve. First of all, I'd have to haul about 150 gallons of water in my car up to my house. Do you know how many trips it would take to get that much water up here? Do you know how much of that water would probably spill over in the car? And then you're really not allowed to do that. If you live down on the lake bank, they pay a fee once a year for the right to pump water out of the lake to water their yard with. So I don't think you can just go down there and fill up buckets at will and haul them out. Just like you couldn't back up a big old truck and pump water out of the lake to fill that truck up and then haul it off. I think you'd get in trouble doing that. I mean, I don't think they pay a big, large fee. I don't know how much it is, maybe $100, $200 a year to pump all the water they want out of the lake to water their yards, which is the best water in the world you could get to water a yard or a garden or anything with. But I don't have access to that up here. I know I had one subscriber mention, get water bottles, the small water bottles, and fix them in each plant and keep them full of water. Well, do you know how many bottles that would take? And how much time it would take to go around and fill each bottle up? And how often you would have to fill it? They'd be empty in a day. I mean, I don't think I'd be helping myself that much. And I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the, their input. Because some of the times they comment and give me some really good pointers on doing stuff, which I appreciate. But I've just kept my fingers crossed and everything else crossed that we'll get rain. That's the only salvation we're going to have at this point. Even my big rose bushes, they look like they're on their last leg. They're all brown. The stems are brown. There's maybe 1 or 2 green stems left at the base of the bush. So I'm at risk of losing even my really big rose bushes that have been out there for many years. Not just the little ones, which I've already lost a lot of those. But it's very disheartening. It's almost like the good Lord's picking on me, which I know He's not, but... And I guess there's a reason for all this. I don't know. Maybe we'll see it at the end of the tunnel. But I worked so hard. I put so much effort, seeds, everything else into growing my garden. To have this happen to it, it's disheartening, y'all. And you look on the internet and you see all these other gardens that are just thriving in other states and other parts of the country. I said, yeah, mine should look that good too, but it doesn't. But this is the worst summer I think I've ever spent in Texas. With the heat that's lasted for so long and the drought that's lasted so long. No rain, and it's been at least 104 or higher temperature every single day. Usually you're lucky if it's below 109. I don't know. Y'all just pray. Pray for us in Texas. Pray for us in this area that we'll get rain. And I know, like I said, when it goes this long, or even close to this long with no rain in this area, the ground gets so compact and hard and dry that when it rains, it downpours, and it rains faster than the rain can soak in the ground, and it's going to cause a flood. I mean, it doesn't so much cause a flood up here where I'm at because I'm on this hill, but the people below me, they're going to flood. In a lot of areas, they're going to have a lot of damage from flood water. Because in Texas, you either get too much rain or you don't get any at all. That's just the way it is. But like I said, it doesn't usually go this long with no rain. And I'm going to try my best to quit preaching on that. Get on another subject. I hope your day is going better than mine has started out. Yeah, my channel was all about growing and cooking what you eat and that type of thing. I haven't had anything to cook unless it's stuff that I buy, because there's nothing in my garden growing. I mean, you saw my little carrots. They were so puny, it was ridiculous. I got a few radish the beginning of the summer, but they were real tiny because of the heat. And with the soil and the not so much fertilizer, but the compost tea, the fish emulsion, stuff like that I put in there when I watered, I should have had beautiful beets this year. Beautiful big beets. But when it's so dry, you can't keep your stuff watered enough. It stunts the growth. They don't grow like they normally will. And I hope everybody that's watching this video has a beautiful garden. I hope you had a lot better luck with the rain and your water situation in your area than I've had here. It's almost like, I started my channel a year ago. We're going to see how much you can handle. We're going to see how much we can destroy to keep you from doing your channel. Well, guess what? I'm not going to stop. I'll replant in the spring. Like I said, planting right now is not working because as fast as everything comes up, it's dying. So there's my fall garden. So the best I can do at this point is wait till the spring of the year, replant, and hope for the best. Do more videos on doing my floor and stuff in the house, like, I guess. I know some people don't like it because they wanted to see more about the garden and cooking what you grow and that type of thing. But if your garden is dying off and there's nothing out there to harvest, what are you going to do? I definitely did not anticipate this kind of summer. I figured it would get hot. It always does, but it doesn't stay 105 and 106 every day. And we don't usually go 2 months at a time with no rain. So I never anticipated my summer ending up this way. And believe you me, I'm not happy about the thought that I'm losing my biggest rose bushes that have been in my yard for many years already, to lose them this summer. Because you physically can't put enough water to them to keep them alive. The roots have went down so deep, you can't get water down to the roots, and the ground just keeps drying out. So you water them and it's not doing them any good because it's not going down to the root where it needs to go. It might hit a few of the top roots, but that's all. But I'm doing the best I can, y'all. I'm trying to keep my channel going, and I will, one way or the other. And sooner or later, I'll be able to plant a decent garden again and have something grow and produce like I've always had in the past. It can't be this way every single summer. I know they've already predicted we're going to have a worse winter than last year because of the heat this summer, and that might be true. So, I'm not going to have a winter garden. I don't think I'm even going to try. Because like I said, I've already tried planting my fall garden, and stuff's coming up, but it's dying as fast as it gets 3 inches tall. I mean, my winter squash plant looked beautiful. I mean, it was up this tall. It had about 5 or 6 beautiful leaves out on it, and it's dying right now. Just from the chemical water. You're fortunate if you live in an area where you can pump your own water. I wish I could pump my own here. And a neighbor of mine did. They moved in and they put their well down people told them, oh, you can't do that. We're restricted. We don't own the water rights. She said, well, I own my property, therefore I'm putting the well down. And you know what? They put their own well down. They pumped their own water. They didn't pay a water bill every month. And I think everybody should do that. It's like when they put the subdivision in, they bought up the water rights, the mineral rights, and oil rights, and all that. So you have to go with city water. You got to go with company water. You can't pump your own water. That's to help the water companies out. Well, I wonder what our water company's thinking about it right now when they can't even supply enough water to the residents they already have. And we got people moving in every day, building homes, and there's no water. Or I take that back. There is water. They just can't filter it and pump it to the residents as fast as they need to. Oh well, I'm done preaching for today. But like I said, I'm going to keep my channel going. I'll do what I can. If I have to, I'll start buying vegetables and cooking them to show how I do them. You know, some of the same stuff I would get out of my garden. But see, I have no hot peppers this year. I can't make chow chow, which I've got a video on that if anybody wants to see it. There's an older video on me making chow chow here a year ago. I've got a video on how I did my pickles. I've got a video on how I did cowboy candy. If anybody wants to see how to do their hot peppers and make cowboy candy out of it, you'll get the recipe and how to do it from that video. Just go back to some of the older videos. Tomato sauce. I've got a video on how to make your own tomato sauce out of fresh tomatoes. There's a lot of videos that I've already done in the year past that are online that you can see all that. Even though I don't have tomatoes now or any of that stuff to do anything with. Hopefully, in the years to come, I will. So, we'll see. I'm already sweating this morning, y'all. I'm sitting here at the kitchen table. And the AC's blowing like crazy. So, and how is your day going? Y'all need to boost my, what would you call it? Boost my spirit up a little bit. I'm just down this morning. I'm just disgusted. Yeah, I'm glad I already had my dishes washed and the kitchen was cleaned up and all that last night. When I came over here, I don't know what it was I ran water for, but I turned the spigot on and there was not a drop of water. I said, oh great, that's just what we need. No water, no shower, no bath tonight. I'm glad I wasn't that dirty because I hadn't been out in the yard working. I wasn't sweaty or nothing, so I was fairly clean enough to go to bed and not worry about it. But I'm pretty sure it was probably a broken line somewhere and they had to turn the water off to repair the line somewhere. It happens all the time. Yeah, I still got the bedroom floor to do. I haven't done that yet. I've got to move the bed out. I got to move all that stuff out of that little bedroom. And I do need to take the carpet up because I had laid down a piece of carpet in there one year. So it's not going to be that difficult. It's not glued down or anything. I'll just have to roll it up and take it out. It needs to be taken out and shampooed anyway. But with the water restriction, I can't even do that. I can't even put a rug on my back patio and take the water hose and wash it off. Isn't that something? Any other time, I'd pull that rug, that carpet up, I'd take it out, move the table off the patio, and I'd spread it out on that patio. I'd put detergent on it, and then I would scrub it good with a scrub brush, hose it down, rinse it off, throw it over my gas tank, and let it sun dry and air out before I put it back in. Can't do that now. And God knows when I'm going to be able to do it again, because you can't use the water hose outside for anything. Can't even wash your car outside. Well, guess what? I washed my car outside the other night. It was a couple of weeks ago. It got so dusty and all, and I didn't want to pay the $16 to go running through the car wash and wash it off. I filled up a little 2.5 gallon bucket. Went out there and I washed the dust off of my car with it. And then I proceeded to water my plants with the water in the bucket. So I don't think they can say anything about me doing that. I use less water than anybody else around here anyway. It's right on the water bill that I'm in the top 20% of using 66 gallons or less water a day. Everybody else below us, they're using 3, 4, 5, 6 times as much water as I do. So I don't think they can say anything about how much water I use. Y'all, I apologize. I did not intend to start this video and just download on everybody this morning. It just ended up that way. But maybe I'm going to have one night a week of singing going on or something. Some other kind of entertainment other than gardening to get us in a better mood. Get us in a good frame of mind, a happy frame of mind. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. With my allergies, I don't know how much singing I can do without coughing and gagging, but I guess we'll find that out too. But from all the pictures my subscribers sent in of their garden, they look so good. Everything was so pretty and green and lush and just producing like crazy. I'm so proud of them. I just wish my garden ended up that way this year. But I just wanted to get on here and let you know what's going on. I mean, I don't have as many garden videos going on lately because I have basically no garden. I mean, I hate to keep showing dying plants every time I do a video. I mean, that's in itself is depressing. So, I won't burden you with any more stuff this morning. This is a shorter video. I love each and every one of my subscribers. I bless every one of you. Thank you so much for hanging in with me, and I hope you continue to hang in with me as we can get things straightened out, get the water situation corrected, and maybe grow a decent garden next time. So, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, share, and like my videos. And if it would rain, it would help my allergies tremendously. But like I said, please share, like, subscribe to my videos. Y'all have a blessed Saturday and all weekend. Be safe. Be happy. Enjoy your family. And I'll see you on my next one. Bye now.